Is it just me, or is the latest newsletter from Yield Nodes just a big pile of nothing yet again? I've read through it 2 or 3 times now, and I can't find anything of value in there. You might beg to differ. If you do, then by all means leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you see any value in it. I know there's some people who still fully support Yield Nodes, and that's fair enough. If that's if that's your belief, you're entitled to your own opinion. I can't see why though. I don't know why people are still bullish about Yield Nodes, because we're not being given anything to support the claims from Yield Nodes that it's going to be anything. We've had so many promises for 18 months now about Yield Nodes Pro, real world assets, all this stuff, and nothing's happened. No movement. All we've got is NFTs that are worthless. People are not being able to trade them, although I believe that's fixed now. Balance is locked. People desperate in real dire situations because their money's locked up, but no real movement, no real promises. Now I believe Steve has paid out a few people who've had health issues, personal problems. People, I think someone who had cancer contacted Steve, and apparently he was given his investment back. So I'm pleased, I'm glad about that, and that's really nice of Steve to do that, or Yield Nodes, whoever facilitated that. If that is true, I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard. So that's nice to hear. But there are other people who are maybe not as unfortunate with their health, but obviously very unfortunate with their financial situation, and also need their money back. I need my money back. I've only got 4,000-5,000 euros of my own money tied up in Yield Nodes, a couple of €1,000 in profit. It's not a massive amount, but I'm not overly wealthy. I don't have money coming out of my ears, so I would like my €5,000. Thank you very much, because I need it like everyone else does. So we just need something to happen with people being able to get at least some of their funds back. If not the profits, then their initial investment, or vice versa, whatever, but getting something. And that's not happening. So I'm going to go through the newsletter anyway, just quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on it because, like I say, I've read it a few times, and I don't want to waste my time again or your time, because there's nothing of real substance in here. A lot of people think this has been written by AI. It might have been. I've got no problem with AI and people generating content using AI. It does seem to be much better written than previous newsletters. That might be because it's been written by someone else, or maybe someone with better command of the English language. It might have been always written in German previously and translated, or some, I don't know. But like I say, I've got no problem with AI creating content, as long as the information that's being presented is of value, and this really isn't. So the first opening paragraph says that Bitcoin growth is always a good sign that the altcoin market might follow, and it might be soon time for Yield Nodes to stand in the limelight again as we work towards getting back on track. Yeah, most altcoins have followed track with Bitcoin, but Sapphire isn't one of them. We've still got a massive flat line here, and it's kind of worthless. I think if you click on the Bitcoin line here, it does kind of follow the same similar pattern, but it's still of very little value. It's worthless, and it's down 29%. Anyway, let's have a look over the last 7 days. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing there, so that's not really worth reporting on. NFT update. So apparently the NFT situation has been resolved, so you are now free to list your NFT again on Magic Eden. Was it Magic Eden? Yeah, wherever it was sold, you can list it there and sell it for a fraction of the perceived value. Whatever value you've got printed on your NFT, you maybe get 10% of that. I think it's only current Yield Nodes investors who are buying other people's NFTs anyway. Obviously those people who still believe in Yield Nodes are buying other people's NFTs because they're thinking that when Yield Nodes Pro kicks off, then they're going to have more money. But I can't see that anybody who's never had anything to do with Yield Nodes is suddenly going to buy somebody's Yield Nodes NFT. But apparently that situation's been fixed. Yield Nodes Pro updates for 2024. it basically says about the NFT vulnerabilities and our commitment to high standards of quality and security. So therefore, we decided to reschedule the launch of Yield Nodes Pro test version to Q2. So yet again, pushed back. Things are pushed back. It seems to be in every newsletter we get a pushback, another pushback, another pushback, and it just goes on and on and on and on, and time is passing us by, and we're all getting old, and my hair's falling out, and my beard's gone grey. Nothing's happening. Yield Nodes Pro 2024-2025. So again, we're talking about things in the future. Now we're now talking about 2025, which is ridiculous to think we've got to wait another year for things to start happening. They're talking here about audits, and they're in discussions with two of the big four accounting firms to serve as our public auditors. Now, I don't know if any of these big four accounting firms are even interested in cryptocurrency at all, but if they are, I can't see that they'll ever touch Yield Nodes, especially with Yield Nodes being labeled a scam, not just by Chain Analysis, but by other platforms and companies too, which I'll talk about in a second. But you know, Deloitte and Touche, or you know, who are the other accountancy firms? I can't even think now who they are. But they're not going to get involved with Ernst & Young. That's another one as well, I think. But they're not going to get involved with Yield Nodes for sure. This is just a red herring, in my opinion. And I apologise if it comes you know, to be the case that they do. But why would any of the big four accountancy firms have anything to do with Yield Nodes? You know, when we're talking about audits, what's happened to all the people who audited it back in 2022? James Pelton, Chris McCauley, all these people who said, you know, people of supposed credibility, crypto YouTubers, influencers with supposed credibility, who said that Yield Nodes was fantastic and all the assets were legit and all the people behind it were legit and the company was legit and all these things. Where are they now? You know, I've said it before, where are they? Off shilling some other DeFi project to unsuspecting investors, no doubt. They will not have anything to do with Yield Nodes ever again. They've had their you know, value out of Yield Nodes, shall we say. They've probably had a lot of referrals and got a lot of referral income commission. They probably also got paid by Yield Nodes, probably. This is all speculation. But yeah, I can't see those guys ever talking about it again. You know, we talk about Liam Dyson. People keep saying, where's Liam Dyson? Why not bring one of these people in his place to convey the message from Yield Nodes if they, you know, if they still believe in Yield Nodes, which I'm sure they don't. But somebody needs to be that middle person between Steve and the public, and that needs to be somebody of credibility or somebody who believes in Yield Nodes. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to talk to Steve and you know, put out content. If Steve gives me content and you know, he wants it sharing with the public, I'm happy to do that, because I want both sides of the story out there. I don't want to just put all negative stuff onto Yield Nodes. If he's got things to share with me that add value and I think is valuable to you, the investor, then I'll happily share that information, but I don't think he will. I did speak to Steve a while ago. He won't even remember. It was just a small chat on Skype, texting. He seemed like a fair enough guy, but I don't know if he would have anything to do with me now and speak to me, because I think he thinks that I'm totally anti-Yield Nodes and anti-Yield Nodes personnel. But you know, I'm here, Steve, if you want to contact me. Anyway, so on to Chain Analysis. The lawsuit continues, obviously spending tons and tons of money, probably investors' money on that lawsuit, which sounds like a complete waste of money to me and time. Chain Analysis were not the only people who said that Yield Nodes were a scam. I received this document from somebody who shall remain anonymous, but this information was gathered by them, and basically it's just a list of other companies who've said, you know, stay away from Yield Nodes. For those who don't know, Yield Nodes and Exceptional Media are kind of one and the same thing. Exceptional Media was the predecessor to Yield Nodes. They had other platforms out before Yield Nodes that turned out to be not so legit, I believe. This article is from FMA Austria, and basically, let me just zoom in here. It says, attention, the FMA warns investors against concluding transactions with Yield Nodes. This was November 2023. Yield Nodes / Exceptional Media, with its registered office apparently in Hong Kong, and then the web address and the email address. This link from Norway, whatever it says, Finanstilsnet or something. Again, talks about Exceptional Media. This was published in December 2023. These are all after Chainalysis said that Yield Nodes was a scam. FSMA Belgium, same thing, talking about Yield Nodes and Exceptional Media. The SFC warns, this is Hong Kong now, SFC warns public of suspicious crypto-related product yieldnodes.com, the masternode pool. And then it goes on to tell you, give you some information here. Cyber Defender Hong Kong says the URL related to a scam report for yieldnodes.com. Exceptional Media Limited Malta, the predecessor of Exceptional Media Limited, and the predecessor of Yield Nodes as well, also ended up in the bad archive. Same name, same owner, different jurisdictions. This was from Offshore Leaks Database. And then it talks about Stefan here, Stefan being Steve, for those who don't know. And then we've got a list here of other platforms: Chainalysis, CoinMerce, Binance, Crypto.com, SEC, Coinbase, Robinhood, Changelly, OpenSea, and others have also paid attention to the activities of Yield Nodes / Exceptional Media. Chainalysis, the Crypto Crime Report, Yield Nodes' second largest scam 2022. That's what they said, and that's why Yield Nodes are filing that lawsuit against Chainalysis. CoinMerce suspends accounts if further transactions with Yield Nodes. Binance froze the assets of Yield Nodes, i.e. Urge Swinger. Crypto.com found transactions linked to wallets associated with a scam. The SEC subpoenaed Coinbase for transactions connected to Yield Nodes. Coinbase, see above. Robinhood restricted accounts for transferring funds to Yield Nodes. Changelly froze the assets of Yield Nodes, and OpenSea banned trading of Yield Nodes NFTs, which is why you can only now get them or trade them on Magic Eden. So it's not just Chainalysis who said that Yield Nodes was a scam, so I'm not sure why Yield Nodes are only going after Chainalysis. It just doesn't seem, I don't know, it just seems a bit fishy why that would be the case, but it also seems like a complete waste of money because, you know, they haven't got money apparently to pay back investors, but they can find all this money to support this this lawsuit. If you have a look on the Yield Nodes Reddit, again, there's just a lot of people just saying the same thing about Yield Nodes and about their lack of faith in Yield Nodes and how it's a scam. And one thing I don't like is people, you know, coming out with stupid comments. Let me see if I can find one. Oh, there's one about Urge using AI to write his newsletters. NFTs. There was something I seen which I thought was really ridiculous, and I'm totally against. But basically, it asks about the private addresses. Give me my effing money. Are the current home addresses of Urge and Steve known? This is published by Necessary Ad, and it's like, what are you gonna do? You know, go and demand your money off someone from the house? Because I can't see that really having a positive result either way. You know, it doesn't need to come to this. What we need is a proper lawsuit if people want to sue Yield Nodes and try and get the money back. And Yield Nodes Legal, for you know, despite what many of you might think, are actively still working on a lawsuit and you know, filing a lawsuit. But you know, these things do take time. It's not going to happen overnight. And I know it's been 12 months, 18 months, whatever it is, since Yield Nodes Legal started their actions, but you know, it doesn't happen overnight. A lot of information has got to be gathered. A lot of people need to be spoken with. It needs to be reported to the right people. Obviously, there's money involved, filing class actions. It doesn't happen overnight. But, you know, I've spoken to somebody just today from Yield Nodes Legal, and you know, they are diligently working hard for their own benefit because they've got investments in yield nodes, and for the benefit of other people. Those people who registered to be part of phase 1 for Yield Nodes Legal, they're working on their behalf, and then they will, you know, obviously open that up to phase 2 as well. I think I did register for phase 1, but for some reason my my data's been lost, or maybe it wasn't registered. I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to be part of phase 1 or not, but whether I am or not, you know, I still want to help where I can with other people who are trying to get their funds back, because that's, you know, like I said earlier, I've got 5,000 euros or something tied up in yield nodes, which, you know, it's a lot of money for me, whether you think that or not. It's a lot of money, 5,000 euros, and I could do with it. I need money, like everyone needs money, but it's not, you know, it's not gonna end my life or make my life as difficult as other people's lives have been made by having their money locked up with yield nodes. You know, people have got far more money than 5,000 euros locked up, and those people who have got 5,000 euros locked up might have a more difficult life than I've got currently. So it's all relative is what I'm trying to say, and I'm just trying to help people where I can. I don't even know what I can do really, other than bring this information, share my thoughts, try and liaise between either yield nodes legal, the investors, whatever, but just try and assist people where I can, and share information where I can, hopefully accurate information, hopefully not just one-sided information. Like I say, I will share anything that Steve has to say on this channel. You know, it's not just a dig at yield nodes. I'm only sharing information that I've been given, and at the moment it all seems to point towards yield nodes not really living up to their words, and they're not really fulfilling their promises. So as far as I can see at the moment, you know, there's no movement, no development, and there's no likelihood of anybody getting their money back. We shall see. Anyway, if you've got anything to add to that, any comments or feedback or anything like that, leave it down below, or come and join my Discord server. That's it, guys. I don't even know what else to say, because there's nothing of real value in there, and it's disheartening. And there's still a lot of people in who supporting yield nodes, and I don't understand why. It's either because they are, I don't know, naive maybe, and I don't want to be rude, but I can't see any other reason why people would still have faith in yield nodes when every single newsletter, it's just another delay, it's another delay, nothing positive has happened. So why these people will read the latest newsletter and then say, oh, I can't wait for 2024 or 2025 or for the Q1 or Q2, and these guys are going to pull through, and I don't understand it, unless they're either page shills, totally naive, or I don't even know. I don't have another or, I'm afraid. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you found it useful, click the thumbs up button. If you hated it, Steve, maybe click the thumbs down button, and I'll see you again in another video.